Hey friends, it's Mari. I'm back today with another episode of What's Trending. And thank you so much to all of you who watched the first episode. I will leave a link down below to that first episode for all of your comments and all of the different things that you had to say about the trends we followed in that first episode. One of the things that lots of you wanted to talk about and commented about in that first video is the trend of traveler's notebooks. And so I thought, let's talk about that in this second episode. One of the things that I have brought into my scrapbooking and memory keeping process is a variety of different sizes and types of traveler's notebooks. I love working in this size. I think that it's a really fun and easy way to put some memory keeping together, and there's so many different options. This is a Midori Traveler's Notebook insert. This, I think, maybe is the original Traveler's Notebook. You can see that I paid about 10 bucks Canadian for this insert. These are the Japanese Midoris, and you can get all kinds of different covers for these and so on. The variety of paper that you can get inside of these notebooks is very cool. And I'm just showing you here a sample of a layout that I've done in this type of traveler's notebook. I did a little bit of my own artwork and lettering on the one side, and I'm just showing you how heavy the paper is in this particular type of traveler's notebook. And this could be used specifically for travel. I mean, you could document all kinds of things in these little notebooks. And it's just great because they don't take up much space. Like I said, the process is pretty quick, and there's a lot of people really turning to this format for a variety of reasons. This one, I believe, is a Prima traveler's notebook. The paper in this one is much more thin, and obviously the cover is on this particular one has a little bit of artwork on it. Quite a few pages, quite a few signatures in this particular book. And what you'll find is the traveler's notebooks are bound in the middle, usually with a staple. And then you have each side of those different pieces of paper to work on. This one is a Prima, and it is also watercolor paper, which is super cool because then you can, of course, use the medium of watercolor in this particular book. If you like to do that, if that's something that's definitely in your wheelhouse, so to speak, that's really nice to have that option. This is another one from Prima. This is a mixed media journal, and you can see in here there's some black cardstock, which is lots of fun to work on with gel pens and that kind of thing. There's different weights of paper throughout this book, including heavier cardstock. There's also some craft paper in the middle. There's also vellum, which is super cool. And then, of course, you have both sides of that paper to work on. So whatever's in the first half of the book is also going to be in the second, because they just take that paper, staple it in the middle, and you have both sides of that paper to work on. So you can see here, that's a really nice little option for a traveler's notebook. I will link up all of these different books if I can find them down below. So just check out in the links and you can follow where you can purchase these different items. This is another Midori. It's a really, really lightweight and thin paper in here. So if you just wanted to do journaling in these books, or, not put a ton of, heavier things in there, you can do that as well. And that had different kind of paper in it. I believe that one had graph paper. This is a Carpe Diem traveler's notebook from Simple Stories. I really love this format. It's one of my favorites. I like the size of the paper in these books. I like the weight of the paper, and these are just really super fun to work in. Here you can see some layouts that I have created already where I've put some interactive bits in these. I've used cut files on this one in particular from Just Nick. And here you can see, actually there's a picture in there. I'm going to do a little layout here for you today. This is another Carpe Diem insert here. Also another little traveler's notebook. This one's themed with that floral. This is one of the collections that Simple Stories had. I think it was called Hello Beautiful or something like that. This is a Carpe Diem traveler's notebook cover, which is gorgeous. I love it. You can see all of the different places here in the front of the cover where you can put items, whether it's, paper clips, or if you're actually legitimately using this when you travel, there's all kinds of little pockets and places for you to keep things, including a pen. and very, very cool idea, very cool concept. So I'm just going to show you here some of the spreads that I've done in this particular notebook. Used a little bit of mixed media in here, a little bit of paste, and lots of journaling and some hidden journaling options in some of these as well. And just love how these little books come together. They're a lot of fun, like I said, to do. And you can actually avoid those pages coming apart by putting some washi in them. So just might be a good idea for you to reinforce the book before you start working so that you don't have that issue of things coming apart. So here you can see, here's an empty one. This just shows you the little rope there on the inside, or the elastic that keeps your traveler's notebook inserts intact inside of the cover. Then the cover just has this other rope or elastic that goes around the outside edge to keep it all bound together. Another option is Prima. Prima has lots of different covers and sizes that you can purchase as well. This one is just beautiful. I love it. It's a smaller version than the Carpe Diem. I'm just showing you the little charm on the little elastic that holds the book closed. I've got a bunch of signatures. The signatures are the little books. Sometimes the little books are referred to as signatures. The little books that go in here. I also am showing you the little paper clips there at the front. There's tons of little pockets in this cover. And here you can see I've got a little insert this size too that has the watercolor paper in it as well. So this is just beautiful. I love it. I'm just showing you the two different sizes that Prima has. So this is the smaller version, and just show you a couple of spreads that I've got inside this particular book. So just love working in these traveler's notebooks. I'm a huge fan of this format. I think that it's a really great option when, if you're looking for something a little bit different from 8.5 by 11 or mini albums, if you're working in 8 by 6 or you're doing 12 by 12s and you want to switch it up, traveler's notebooks are a great option. And as I mentioned already, I will leave links down below so that you can check out where you can find some of these different products. Now, I'm also going to show you some really tiny versions. These are Lawn Fawn little tiny notebooks. And to be honest with you, you could use these little tiny notebooks to document different stories as well. These could be little tiny mini albums. You could do some really cute things with these. And you could even incorporate these into a larger project. So I just love any of these little mini album options. So what I'm going to do is take you through the process of creating a spread in a traveler's notebook today. I'm going to be using this photograph here. It's a picture of my sister and I. We are definitely having a glass of wine in this particular photo. This was on the day of my daughter's bridal shower. This was in the summer a couple years ago. We're at a beautiful hotel in Saskatoon, and it was a lovely day, and we had just a really nice time. And I'm just going to document a little bit of just a few little things about her and I am going to use the Dear Lizzie It's All Good collection. Now, another thing that's really fantastic about traveler's notebooks is you don't need to have a bunch of supplies to do one of these spreads. You can, first of all, use a bunch of things from your stash, but you can literally just use a few stickers, a little bit of paper from a small paper pad. It doesn't have to be much, and you can put together and document a memory very, very quickly without many supplies. So I love that aspect of working in a traveler's notebook. This is the small paper pad, the 8x6 paper pad from It's All Good. And I'm just showing you here, there's a cut apart sheet in there. You can get a lot of mileage out of one of these cut apart sheets, and just showing you some of the different products that I'm going to choose from when I'm working on this layout today. So what I wanted to do with this spread is cover the one side of the page with some pattern paper. So I'm just going to take a pattern paper that I found that had the color scheme, or I just wanted some pink with something subtle in the background for the left side of my layout today. So there's quite a bit of pink on the right side in that photograph. So I just wanted to use a little bit of pattern paper here on the left to incorporate in that pink. So I'm just going to size this paper down with my trimmer. I've just made some little pencil lines on my paper that will match up what the dimensions are of that side of my page. And I'm just going to use that little paper clip at the top to keep my spread open when I'm working on it, but I just wanted to take that off while I adhere this piece of patterned paper to the left side. I'm going to just take my corner rounder. This is a little Stampin' Up! Corner rounder that I have. I have a couple of these in my stash, but this particular one really matched up with the shape of the corner rounding on this Carpe Diem Traveler's Notebook. So I used that, I rounded the corners, and now I'm ready to adhere this paper down to the left side of my spread. Now I'm just using some Kokio repositionable adhesive here. I really like using that particular adhesive because if I need to change my mind, it's not permanent, although, however, it does stay stuck very well. So that is a win. I'm just going to press that down now that I'm happy with how I have that placed. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of a gap in the center. Something I really like to do with my traveler's notebooks is use washi tape in the center of the spread. First of all, it just really reinforces the binding of the book, and it also is really beautiful and decorative. So this particular washi is white with a really pretty gold foil dot, and there is gold foiling in this Dear Lizzie collection that I'm going to be using, so that was also a win. I'm going to just go through this little tray of die cut pieces that I have chosen, and I'm just going to pick out the ones that I think might work for my project here today. So I'm just going to go through and lay those out to the right of my spread, and once I've got enough there that I think I can get going and I've got enough to choose from, I'll just set that tray aside and get to work on embellishing my project. The great thing about a traveler's notebook is you don't need a ton of embellishments for a spread. This is a really easy size to embellish, and that's another one of the huge pluses of this format. So you can see why this traveler's notebook trend is strong. I think there's a lot of huge bonuses to it. It's not for everyone, but I can definitely see why some people are drawn to this size. I want to just take a look at the sticker sheet too and see if there's other stickers that I might want to incorporate besides, or stickers other than just the die cut pieces. Once again, I'm going to take my Kokio repositionable adhesive here. I'm going to stick that photo down, and now I'm just going to place the die cut pieces that I have in just random places here to see if what I want to use, where I want to use the different bits and so on, just to get kind of an idea of what I want to do here. Now I am going to take one of the cut apart sheets from the paper pad, and I'm going to use that as a place for my journaling on the left side. I don't really necessarily feel like the rain boots fit the theme of what I'm doing here, so you'll see how I work with that and sort that out. I do just really like the size of this little journaling card, and I like the color scheme, so I really wanted to use it. So I'm just going to use that lemon die cut piece there and another little embellishment, or a couple of embellishments, to cover up the rain boots. There you can see I used a little camera sticker and a little, I'm going to also use a little phrase sticker over in that area as well. I'm going to use another little phrase sticker underneath my die cut piece on the right side that says remember this. And then I'm going to take another little one. This one says love, and it's got the pink with the gold foil lettering, and I love that. So now I'm just going to take a look at the puffy stickers. I'm going to place a few of those around. And like I said, this is just super easy. Not a difficult size to sort out. You just don't have the real estate that you have on a 12 by 12 layout, so it's pretty easy to embellish. Now, I really love little mini envelopes. I think if we were to talk about things that are trending, I think that is another thing that is trending, is using little interactive bits and pieces on layouts like this. Now, this little mini envelope was super easy to create. I do have this little Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board. This is something that I've had in my stash for a really long time. You can get this also from We Are Memory Keepers, and this was super easy to make. I just used it as if I was trying to make an envelope for a 2 by 3.5 card. And so I started off with a piece of paper at 5 by 5. You can see what I did here is I just put some of that same washi tape down on a piece of cardstock. I then went in with my little slot punch from Stampin' Up! And I punched a little slot in that paper. I wanted the washi tape on there to match up with that washi tape in the center. I cut my little slot, and then I went in with my 1-inch punch and cut that whole circle out that has the slot in it. And this is what I'm left with here. I'm just showing you. And this has got that little slot so that there's a place for the envelope closure. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to take my repositionable adhesive here. I'm going to use that to close my envelope flaps. And I'm going to take a little bit of Gina K Connect glue to adhere this little slot circle bit down to my envelope. And now you can see there's a little slot there for the flap of the envelope to fit into. I'm just going to embellish that with another sticker from the collection, and my layout is done. I've got all of my journaling done on there, and I just really like how this turned out. I put a little Vicky Boutin journaling card inside of my envelope so that I can do a little bit of hidden journaling there as well. And I am going to stick that envelope down, and then that is going to be the whole project for today. I really love this trend of traveler's notebooks. I think it's pretty cool. Leave me a comment in the comment section below letting me know what you think of this trend. Is this something that you love? Is it something that you haven't tried yet but you think you'd like to try, or it's not for you? I'd also like you to let me know, what are some other trends that you've noticed in paper crafting? You know, anything that you've noticed that you think are interesting trends. Maybe it's things that you don't necessarily love, but let me know. Let me know about the trends that you've been noticing and thinking about. I'm just showing you here, this is the whole finished layout, and I'm just showing you, you could do other things with that right side. You could do some stamping on there. There's all kinds of things that you could do to, you know, if you wanted to fill up the white space on the right side with other things. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and I hope to see you again here on my channel. Bye-bye.